the Congress voted to give President George Bush the authority to decide if he was going to take military action in Iraq, and they did it because it was full of cowards that didn't want to actually vote on whether or not to go to war. The reason we haven't had an official war and we've only had police actions and the war on terror that was carried out under the authorization to use military force, it's because the Congress has been spineless and afraid to actually vote yes or no on war. If they give the power to the president, which they don't have any constitutional authority to do that, right? The Constitution says Congress declares war. It doesn't say Congress declares war unless Congress is full of chicken shits that don't want to actually vote on it because they're afraid of their constituents, so they can give that power to the president. You can't give that power to the president without a constitutional amendment. But Congress is cowards and the entire government is lawless. So we need to have the president have his constitutional powers, which is not to execute foreign wars or to engage in foreign wars, but is to fire bureaucrats.
That makes sense. I would like to know, my friend, how do you feel about going over fighting in the desert and us going to war with them, like without the
really doing that?
How do I feel about fighting in the desert? I feel like it's dry and hot to fight in the desert.
Okay.
If you fight in the jungle, it could be wet, muddy,
moist.
Moist.
What a nice word. Okay, so yeah, it kind of sucks. That means the last 40-some years, must shoot longer than that. We've been running an unconstitutional government.
Yeah,
For all of our foreign actions.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
very clearly.
Since the end of World War II.
Yeah.
And so now Donald Trump is trying to bring it all back to sanity.
Love it.
It is remarkable to me that Congress created agencies of the executive branch that operate outside the powers of the president because that's unconstitutional on its face. And now they're arguing it's unconstitutional for Trump to try and assert his constitutional authority as president. It is clear that their intent was to create a deep state bureaucratic machine that operated outside the confines of any branch, and that Trump would try to stop it, they claim, is what's wrong. Well, I say what Trump is doing is what needed to be done a long time ago, and for the first time in my life, we have a real president.
Is that Yuri Bezmenov, that gentleman who said we've been infiltrated many years ago? You think that's the underlining?
I don't know.
And
I don't know.
Some people might. I know.
Yeah.
Former KGB spy Yuri
Yep.
Bezmenov.
Yeah.
I love his work. I think he's spot on about the threat from Russia in particular.
Yeah, I agree. And I would even go further than what Alad says. I would say that it's from the whole leftist ideology. So it was the KGB and was the Soviet Union. But after the fall of the Soviet Union, the people that are leftists, the people that believe in communism, the people that believe that is the goal of society, that it is an inevitable march towards a global society with no currency and no property. Those people didn't just go away, and those ideas just didn't go away just because the Soviet Union fell apart. So I think that.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Putin's one of them.
Yeah.
He was a KGB guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And he's long lamented the fall of the Soviet Union. There are a lot of people in Russia who feel that the Soviet Union did not have to collapse. And I don't completely disagree. I mean, there are ways to keep people oppressed, but it did. And a lot of these people were pissed off about it and want to bring it back.
I think the Soviet Union's collapse is one of the great American triumphs over communism, and it was a good thing. And we probably should have pushed harder before the CCP became a thing in China. Better to nip it in the bud sooner than later. But
Yeah, I'm not.
You can thank the U.S. government for empowering China,
Yes.
enriching them as well. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.